Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about the update that we all need in expanded and enhanced Grand Theft Auto 5 that no one seems to be talking about, as well as a handful of other suggestions that I think would be pretty good. So we might be less than 2 months away from the expanded and enhanced version of Grand Theft Auto 5, and we still really don't have any details on the updates and new things that Rockstar is going to implement. And so because of that, it kind of makes you wonder, like, what are these new changes going to be? Well, I kind of compiled a list of about 10 or 11, and I would absolutely love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. These are more quality of life changes, not necessarily new content changes like the types of vehicles that Rockstar will introduce. It's sort of updates and additions to the systems that are already in place. So let's go ahead and dive into it today. There's no specific order here. The number one spot, though, specifically less wheel restrictions. So there's a handful of examples here, like dirt bike wheel options for motorcycles. It's kind of annoying that the Manchez, Sanchez, and BF400 are limited to only using stock wheels. So why can't they get their wheels updated? Also, things like Benny's wheels, why can't they just be applied to every single vehicle now? Now, I will admit Rockstar has done a really good job with adding more categories like street and tuner, but there still needs to be fewer restrictions all the way around in the Los Santos custom shop. So we can start with the wheel category, but we can basically go anywhere we want, just less restrictions. And I am not a game developer by any stretch of the imagination, so I don't know how difficult doing something like that would be, but there just needs to be less restrictions. That's the first thing. Number two is completely remaking passive mode. So one thing Rockstar could do is kind of make it like defensive mode in Red Dead Online. In this rework of passive mode, instead of just locking weapons altogether, it should just prevent you from PvPing, but allow you to do other stuff. Like if you want to use a stun gun on some pedestrians, or just go into Fort Zancudo and cause a massive like shooting frenzy and just go nuts and see how many stars you can get. You should still be able to do that in passive mode without having to have a fear of someone in an Oppressor Mark II blowing you up. Now, I don't know how Rockstar would do that. Again, maybe they could make it like defense mode in Red Dead Online, where the second you attack someone, you're instantly out. And the more you do that, the more penalties you'll get. I wonder if people could abuse that, but there needs to be at least a little bit of a rework of the passive system. That's for sure. Another thing I thought of is like a central garage reorganizer. So obviously, we have a ton of properties right now, residential and business, most of which can come with garage slots. So we have tons of vehicles spread out between different properties. There's ways to organize the vehicles inside of the garages, but there's no way to organize them from outside the garages. So let's say you want to move all your vehicles from your original residential apartments to your new office, your new agency. Right now, you'd have to take them one by one by one. That's kind of annoying. I wish there was a way in which you could like mass move things from one garage to another, or organize them, etc. I just feel like there needs to be something like that in the game. We've got too many cars, too many properties. There needs to be something like that. I saw this post on Instagram. This will be the next thing we talk about. This one's a pretty simple one. Comes from Weasel Intel. It's just adding like commas or periods in between the amount of money that we can see on our screen, because Rockstar don't use anything. So sometimes it's kind of hard to count how many numbers there are. Do I have $120,000 or do I have $1.2 million? So just adding like a simple comma like this can make things very, very easy to read. Now, I know that all you have to do is hit the start menu, or you end up going into like the in-game bank site and you can see how much you have. But I don't think many people do that. They just kind of want to know right on the fly how much I have. Adding those little commas, that would be incredibly nice. Just kind of a little bit of a quality of life thing right there. Number 5 today, the ability to choose lobbies based off of more variables. Like one of them, for example, could be whether or not players have microphones as a requirement. This would obviously be easier when it comes to communicating missions, or for just hearing people talk smack. That's always kind of amusing to listen to. There could be some other requirements that you could mess with as well, like if there's traffic on the roads. That actually would be kind of cool if you could edit something like that where there's more traffic, less traffic. Now, that's getting into some crazy custom lobby stuff, but I do think there's a little bit of custom ability that I think Rockstar needs to do here. So definitely just upgrading the lobbies, and something like a microphone requirement would be pretty cool. Now, another thing that would be pretty cool is to update the traffic. So Rockstar did this when they jumped from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4 version of the game. They added some of the DLC cars to the traffic that we see and that the NPCs drive. They need to do that. It's the same 2023 traffic we've had for 8 years. It's starting to grow stale. They need to update the traffic to add a more modernized feel to the game. Have NPCs driving the new supercars, new muscle cars, stuff like that. That would be really, really cool. There also needs to be less restrictive clothing options. This kind of ties back to the very first thing I talked about in the Los Santos custom shop. I don't know why Rockstar makes things so categorically restrictive. Like, why are certain cosmetic items like CEO vest and mag pouches locked off and require glitches to be accessed? That's just one example. You also need to be able to do things like wear certain accessories with certain clothing. Now, I know what Rockstar's trying to do. They're trying to prevent clipping and having our characters look ridiculous, but they just need to update this. The clothing options are nice, but they still are way too restrictive as things currently stand. So I would like to see Rockstar update that. I'd also like them to revert the Moore's Mutual update that they did. So now when you call Moore's Mutual, you actually have to go into individual garage categories. There's no way to select like all your vehicles and get them out of the insurance stuff. That was a really stupid change. I don't know why Rockstar decided to do that. It was just so dumb. It makes it really tough if you have multiple vehicles that were destroyed by someone else. Like, it's going to take minutes at a time in order to get all your vehicles out. That's just not fun. No one wants to do that. So Rockstar, you need to revert that change. Another thing I think they should do is they should rebalance the payouts for the older content. So I'm talking about some of the original contact missions or even the original heist. So get them to be more in line with the current economy. That's just kind of inflation. Back when we were doing Rooftop Rumble, the most expensive car was $1 million. Now, if you were to do Rooftop Rumble and get a payout like that, there are things that are way more than $1 million. We have these crazy supercars and weaponized vehicles, and we have all these properties and businesses. So they need to rebalance the older content payout. I don't know if they're going to do that or how they would do that, but it would bring back a little bit more life into the game because all of a sudden you would have more people going back and playing that stuff because it becomes more viable to make money, which is what I would say most people are interested in doing in Grand Theft Auto Online, is making money. Another thing I think would be cool to see is a custom interaction menu. So keep the interaction menu intact, but you can like edit where the actual categories are. So at the very bottom, that is where like your easy way out button is. And then at the very top, you have all these other options. Like, what if you wanted them to be like boom, 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 boom? That's the way you could update it and have it the way you want. Why does it have to be the same for every single player? So I think that they should be able to give us an ability to customize our own interaction menu. I also think we should have the ability to sell unwanted weapons, and I'm not talking about the ability to disable them via the gun locker. Just sell them altogether. Get rid of them. We can do that with cars. In fact, sell other things. We could sell properties. We could sell businesses if we no longer want them. Like, for example, the agency giving you the ability to make up to $20,000 per day, it pretty much eliminates the nightclub having any long-term benefits from popularity missions. So if you wanted to like sell your nightclub, there should be an ability to do that. I don't know why Rockstar hasn't introduced that yet, but sell weapons, sell other things other than cars, basically. I think everyone would agree that would be a good idea. I also think there should be a job invite filter for the phone. So basically players can opt out of NPCs texting about adversary modes every 5 to 10 minutes. And the idea could be expanded to allow invites from friends and crew only and ignore everyone else, or allow invites for specific jobs like allow races and heists, but not death matches, LTSs, captures, stuff like that. I think that could be a really useful feature because the phone just seems to be blown up all the time by random NPCs and other players. And then the last thing I kind of thought about, I'm sure there's a lot more that we could do a part 2 of if you guys find this video interesting enough, is maybe like a speed dial on your phone. like maybe have a certain number of slots, or you have the ability to put contacts or even contact abilities. So like you might have Lester, Moore's Mutual, your mechanic, and your speed dial, and then don't really care about any of the other ones. I think that'd be kind of fun. So I could probably go on and on about this, and we might do a part 2 if you guys are interested enough. So let me know not only in those comments down below if you want to see a part 2, but what updates you want to see in Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online with the expanded and enhanced version. Let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.